Can you hear me on the stream? I think you should. I see
Yeah.
a little green bar moving.
Yes, we can.
Wonderful! Like I was saying before I was so rudely silenced by the deep state, the players had more to say and more to do and wanted to play with their 5th level disciplines and wanted to show off and play the political games that come with Vampire, as well as just try and pry secrets out of me, I think, by the conversations that were being held in the discords today and revelations that might have been had.
They wouldn't fucking pry if you weren't dangling them over our heads.
I love to dangle secrets. That's the whole point. Tog can attest to this. Dangling secrets is literally one of the perks of being the DM/ST. I mean, it's really what we live for.
And Tog is the worst secret keeper.
So, with that little caveat out of the way, I do want to roll once more our lovely intro video before we get into that. So, be back in a minute or two.
Peanuts will kill me.
Well, now we know Leon's weakness, peanuts.
Yeah.
I can get killed with a sandwich.
Or Reese's peanut butter cup.
Uh-huh. Children's candy.
So,
I mean, to make it easy, you could just fry something and
all right, you cats. Come on. It's a shorter episode.
Okay, short episode. Yeah, right. We're ready. Lay it on us. What are we doing?
Well, really, I don't have anything planned. I guess it's really up to you guys what you want to. No. So basically, this is our post-mortem. This is picking up a couple days after the events of the previous night. You have all been asked to join the prince for kind of a debrief, if you will, of things. Some of you have been in communication with Prince Magdalena and know that she has been out for the last couple of days. Where she has been, no one seems to know. Fee was with her. Will has been, for the most part, in charge, along with Valerie, in Club Nova and the suites itself. Some interesting things happened behind the scenes after your return to Nova. If we want to delve into that first. But where the group of you would like to meet is entirely up to your point until you are summoned.
I believe me and Mercy are in a meeting.
Yes.
Unless that's already passed.
True.
Let's say...
I think that would have been that same night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's address that. Because specifically, some things happened with you, Leon. Upon your return to Nova and your room, there was, let's say, an unceremonious eviction.
Disturbance?
Now, I don't want to undercut what the players have done in the secrecy of the Discord chat. So, I will say that for the purposes of where we are right now, Mercy is sitting across from you. She has looked at her phone a couple of times. You have been asked to come and sit in this room with her while your sire was taken to another room under lock and key. You did send, I believe, Lizette, one of your ghouls, to go and see where your sire was being kept, and your... Go ahead.
So I sent Solon and Lizette along to follow with Roland, and then Roland suggested that one of them stay and one of them go to me, and Lizette went to the meeting room, so she should be on her way at this moment.
Okay. Take it away, ladies.
Just for further clarity, as to because this was a really weird thing that Mercy did, for both like her usual behavior and like in just social graces. But she was like, "Yeah, all right, come to this meeting room, have a seat," and then she was just like,
Well, I didn't ask you to take her away to a meeting. I want to be very clear about that. That was all you.
"Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying." But that's how that went down. She's like, "It's very important that we speak to one another. Come sit."
Yep.
Americans. So rude.
But she then apologized, and so yeah, now they're waiting, and she'll say, "So, I have a couple questions if you're willing to answer them about your sire and what's happened these last nights."
Go ahead.
Had she had any communications with you prior to her kidnapping that told you she might be in contact with someone or meeting anybody? I mean, it seems odd that she was taken right from Nova. They didn't get in.
But she has always been a bit secretive. I do not. The past few nights we have been at odds. She thinks we should leave and return to Europe, but I refused.
I see. Does she have any associates in the city that you're aware of?
None.
None. It just seems odd to me that with all of the security of Nova and the safety that is offered here, that somehow not only was she caught off guard and taken, but that it appears she went out to greet whoever it was. They did not make it into Nova. Do you see how this seems very odd?
Oui. And you are, of course, suspecting me?
Well, it's not that I suspect you. It is that I suspect that there is more to what happened than we are currently understanding without her to fill in the blanks. And I was optimistic that you or your ghouls may have picked up on something. Like I said, some sort of meeting, a friend. Perhaps she had, if she thought you should leave, perhaps she thought she was making arrangements to do so. Have none of you heard nothing of this sort?
None, but she has been more passive as of late.
I see.
She would never have been so blasé about my little rebellion.
Well, I imagine that Maggie had much to do with that.
Hmm.
This is her realm, her Elysium. You are afforded some protection in that, even from your own side.
Hmm.
It's a shame. I was really just optimistic that you would know something. I don't like this gap in our security that somebody was taken from what we consider a very strong base of safety, and then staked. I mean, that is
I do not find
terrifying.
it particularly thrilling myself.
Yes, it's nothing that's ever happened. I mean, this has always been a stronghold. Look how we gathered the kindred here when the city was under attack. It's very strange, and I don't like that we don't understand. I am optimistic that when your sire once again rises, we'll have some more information from her about the situation. I mean, the prince will want to know. I understand that she will likely be reluctant to share such things, but I highly doubt that she will be afforded the luxury of keeping these secrets.
Well,
At this moment in time, the the notice goes out to everyone's device. 1 hour, my room.
Oof.
Oh boy.
Apologies. It seems we have other plans this evening.
it would.
Well, if you would do me the favor of double checking that your ghouls are in the dark as we are, it would mean a great deal to be able to patch up this hole in our security.
I will be sure to question them thoroughly.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. And meanwhile, not tonight for sure, but in these coming nights, I'm sure if you wish to perform once more on the stage at Nova, there is space for you.
It would be an honor.
And I hope that we can move from here on better terms than we have been of late.
I would enjoy that, Mercy.
Great. Well, forgive me, but I can't show up to see the prince like this. I'm afforded
I would
much
say not.
luxury. This would not be one of them. So if you will excuse me, I'm sure that your sire is in good hands and that they will be willing to let you know where she is upon your return.
Oh.
Thank you for meeting with me.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Mercy will excuse herself to go get ready to see the prince.
And Leon would head off to find her ghouls.
Excellent. Leon, you managed to run into your ghouls in the hallway. They were just about to get to the meeting room before. In fact, Mercy, you would probably pass them on your way up to change.
Ladies, and just keep moving.
Fair. The night is relatively young. I know we kind of were a little loose with this time, but I'm gonna say that it was probably the next night following. The night that you guys came home from the battle, that was pretty much crash, recover, rejuvenate. With the current state of things in the city of Chicago, everybody's a little on edge, but Nova is still operating as Nova would. There are still patrons, some kindred, some mortal. The bar is still serving drinks. The city streets still in a bit of disarray. Looking at the news, you do manage to see that the city of Chicago fix the glitch in their electrical grid systems that seem to be the result of some computer virus. They don't believe that it was anything, but the CPD is looking into possible terrorist attacks to explain away certain things. The rogue broadcast is chalked up to be a Max Headroom-esque, if I'm not dating myself too much there, situation.
No, you're perfect.
In that someone was taking advantage of the chaos to spread further anarchy and try and rile up the masses. The unfortunate nature of what transpired means that a lot of people that you would normally have contact with, probably a little skittish. Moving in the city, there are still certain areas in which there's a police presence where crime was higher in certain places, so there's like blockades, things are cordoned off. It is a city recovering from chaos. Now, as we kind of all converge on this meeting, I'd like to know in what order you guys think that you would arrive in, because that could play a significant role in the information that you receive.
Braggy would be there at least like 10 minutes early, waiting outside the room.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, this is the second. So, like, we got home that first night.
Yes.
We wake early the next. And
Yes.
fairly shortly after that, we get a message. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is when the issue with Leon and Zana and the ghouls and everything kind of played out.
Okay.
So we're, say, roughly an hour and a half or so after sundown by the time this meeting begins.
So then we would still be in Nova. So we would show up on time.
Okay.
Mercy would also be early. Essentially, if she gets the message, she goes to her room. She will change into something more appropriate for meeting with the prince, and perhaps find Braggy outside and go, "Oh, you too."
After talking to her ghouls for a moment, Leon would join. And Leon's a diva, so she's always dressed to meet the prince.
Before they leave the room, Yeagert's gonna look at Roland and be like, "Sword? No sword?
Bring it.
Hell yeah!" Of course, she leaves the
We
guns and brings the sword.
We definitely need to get a magnet for that for your back.
Ooh, like an electromagnet where it like sticks on my back. I push a button and I can. That'd be
No.
cool. That'd be
No,
really
you
cool.
just a magnet. That way you don't have to it's just attached like a strong magnet, and you just slide it away. You don't pull it straight out because that won't work. But if you slide it,
Oh yeah, slide. You still get that cool sound like you're pulling it out of a sheath.
and it'll be technically be rock on metal. So yeah.
Coning.
She's like super excited, and she's got like a.
As much as I think
She's
I
like-
could just listen to Egert and Roland talking about magnets and sheath sounds and swords.
She's asking. He's being. This is creativity. Let's do it. The sound and the style. Oh no. Let's not talk to a Toreador about that.
That's fair. So for those of you that show up early and roughly on time, you enter into a room where you see Prince Magdalena speaking with two women, Fee at her side. One of the women you recognize from the back of her head, as she is Keeper Annabelle.
Oh, shit.
and she is looking not particularly distraught or anything, but you can tell that the conversation is slightly heated.
Oh.
You catch a bit of a glimpse of, "You assured me that this shit wouldn't happen anymore. That's why I backed you." And Magdalena, no one has paid your notice yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Magdalena says, "Annabelle, I truly appreciate your concern. However, you did not lose anyone in the past few nights as I have. And I would kindly remind you that you backed me for more than just protection of your silly little club. Apologies, miss." The woman next to her has kind of this long dark hair and kind of this olive-colored skin. Even as a kindred, um, this woman seems very calm, very laid back. And Annabelle goes, "Regardless of what Portia feels, the issue is that we need these to stop. And I thought you could do that." And at this moment, you see the woman kind of turn. She turns and she says, "Annabelle, listen. It's okay. We lost nobody. The prince is right. She has graced us with protection that she had promised. I have a feeling that there are great things coming from our new prince. More so than under Jackson's rule. I don't believe that we have anything to be really concerned with." And at this kind of conversation between Annabelle and this new woman that you come to know as Portia, Annabelle says, I suppose you're right, Portia. Forgive me, Prince Masters. Your casualties are noted. We thank you for the protection and look forward to a continued beneficial relationship. To which Prince Masters says, "Indeed, dear. Please understand, I don't intend these any more than you do. And I have a feeling that they will be on the decline. At least some aspect of them. But please, I have a meeting and I must attend it. You are welcome to stay if you wish. But you are not required to. I know that you have things to tend to on your end." The new woman goes, "I think that'll serve just fine, Prince. Annabelle, I think we should probably go. We have much to do at the Succubus Club. Many things to prepare for. It's a long night ahead of us, and we have to rebuild the trust and the sense of safety that my establishment offers." Annabelle nods, and the two women turn to face the four of you, having now entered into this room. Annabelle looks at you, Roland, and a big smile goes across her face. She sees next to you Mercy, and a much smaller smile goes across her face. the new woman, Portia, who no one has really seen at this point.
Hmm.
At least, not that you remember. Smiles at all of you as they kind of approach the group of you. Annabelle goes, "Well, if it isn't my golden child here." Child in the sense of same clan, not obviously blood relation in that way, but I do have to say, Roland, you are impressive as one of ours. I can't deny your sheer amount of magnetism and star power.
I see what you did there. Dear Annabelle, if only I were alive, I would blush at words like that.
Oh, please. That's not necessary. We both know where we fall on each other's scales. But all bullshit aside, Roland, you've done fantastic things these last few evenings, and it is to be commended. I heard about a very successful pop-up rave that was very flashy, and yeah, it made me feel a sense of pride to know that it was one of ours.
Well, you know me. I always like to be the center of attention if I can.
Oh,
If it provides a good purpose on top of that, so much the better.
even more wonderful. Let me introduce you. Portia, this is Roland. He's one of the newer of our clan to the city. And he's been making some waves. He seems to have gotten in early with the prince, and it's helped propel him, we should say. But I won't deny he has his own abilities that have made him stand out amongst us. And
Roland will bow slightly to
the
the
woman will
woman.
extend her hand, actually, out for
Oh,
a
he
handshake.
he will he will she will he will take her hand and kiss it ever so slightly, and then bow his head. A pleasure is a pleasure to meet any of Annabelle's friends.
Oh, the pleasure's mine, dear. There's a slight hint of like a Mediterranean accent when she speaks, similar to Critias.
Yeah.
But she says, "The pleasure's mine." I must say, I'm surprised I haven't seen you. I mean, I've heard about your performances. It's the DJ, the
Hula.
lights and the right.
Yes.
Have you thought about performing at the Succubus Club? Annabelle hasn't really mentioned too much about it to me.
Oh, I was trying to perform there, but paths must have gotten crossed at one point or another.
Ah,
It just never really came together.
understandable. I'll have to give that striker a good working over. He's supposed to bring new talent to me. I don't know why he
Uh,
wouldn't have said anything.
Speaking of new talent, I don't believe I formally introduced, but this is Egret. She is mine, and she has performed admirable in the coming nights and has asked to join
Join what, dear?
our clan.
Oh, well, then you must have performed quite admirably, as Portia and Annabelle now turn their gaze to you, Egret. Annabelle looking at you and going, "Well, I guess it's about time. I wondered if he was going to extend the offer your way, the amount that you've carried him. Anyway, not our decision, though. Welcome,
Rude.
if you choose." We have business to attend to, Roland. I don't want Portia here to spend any more time than she needs to. Much to do back at the club, much to
Oh, of
do
course.
these nights.
Yes, we can't have her slumming with us. No.
Never slumming here in the master suites. You know that, dear. We wouldn't say such things.
Um,
Anyway, Good evening, ta-ta.
Good,
And
good evening.
the Portia will kind of bow her head to both of you and give you a little smile and a wink to you, Ygritte, as they get on the elevator to go back down to exit the club. Before we get to you, Antonius and Six, I'm going to say that about this time you're coming into Nova, having tidied things up back at your mansion and residence and attended to all the things that you wished to have done.
Hmm.
As you are walking in, heading towards the meeting, two women, one you know as Annabelle and another that you're unfamiliar with, um, are kind of crossing paths with you. Annabelle, knowing who you are, gives a slight nod and whispers something into Portia's ear. As you get a little bit closer, she goes, Mr. Giovanni, a pleasure. I hope you're well this evening. I can't imagine how the last couple of nights have treated you, but I heard that it was quite the fray all over town.
It was. I thank you, Keeper. And as a point for everybody else, Antonius looks a little different tonight, physically, in the face.
I can
It's
pop out that new picture if you'd like.
yeah, go for it. Little bit has changed. Uh, Going from one humanity level to another tends to also carry some physical changes as well. It's a lot of vampires can play the whole, oh yeah, bless your life, I look pretty much just like a human. He's approaching the point where you cannot. He's much paler than before. It's both better and worse in a way. Paler than before. You can see a little bit of the veins under the skin because the skin is so pale when he's not trying to hide it. The eyes have gone from a relatively like human, like warm brown. They're tilting actual red now. Features are a little stronger, sharper, more cheekbones, more eyebrows, more a little more feral. The hair looks a little longer. The beard looks just a slightly bit more unkempt. And I suppose he'll go. But dressed all the same as he had been before. The black shirt, tie, suit, all black.
Impeccable. Impeccably dressed.
As always. Keeper Annabelle looks at you and at Six, offering the greeting to her as well, the slight nod of the head, and goes, You know, how are those Hekata clans? Have you had many? You seeing an uptick in membership, let's say? Lack of a better term.
In fact, I believe we have. I don't want to keep you, but I did actually have a subject that I wanted to raise to you, if you have the moment.
She looks at her watch. If you can make it under 5 minutes and walk with us as we walk out, I think we can spare a few.
He will turn and immediately hit with, I would like to apply the Giovanni Mansion to be an official Elysium of the Camarilla.
Oh, pardon me. I've it. Your request is not in any way. It's just been one of those nights. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Quite honestly, it makes perfect sense that a primogen of this city would have an Elysium as their home. I see nothing wrong with it. I'll have Brett write up the details and make it official in the next evening. You have my word.
It can take as long as the process needs.
Oh
If you
no,
want to see the place,
you
please.
are a recognized primogen of this city. It's possible that Brett may stop by. I don't know that I have the time for it, but
Understandable.
someone will be by, most likely Brett, and he will look over the place, provide all the information that is required, and we will get you that official designation recognized in the city of Chicago.
I believe that it will be a piece of, as they're walking, still towards the door, so she's moving.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it will be good for both parties. It is well known that Clan Hakata is notoriously independent and typically does not pick sides, but here in Chicago, we are loyal to the Camarilla, and having a Elysium in such a notable place of the Camarilla brings some status to the Cam of this city as well. It's something that the world will see beyond the city. Plus,
As you mentioned that Portia, this new one pipes up. It says, "Excuse me, my name is Portia. I own the Succubus Club. Perhaps you've been, or at least have heard."
oh, I have
I
indeed.
I can't say that I recall the last time Giovanni were here, but I do think that you are correct. This city is going to be. It is special, let's say, to the Cam. The jewel, you could say. I think we only have yet to see what that means.
Well, we must strive to make it a grand jewel indeed, yes.
At this, Annabelle kind of looks between the three of you and goes, "Well, we're at the door. I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Giovanni, but
Please, thank you for your time. And he will open the door for both of the ladies.
thank you." And Portia will smile and kind of give you a nod and say, "I think we'll be talking soon. I'd love to have you at the club sometime."
He will smile, wait for the two ladies to leave the door, shut the door, stand there for a second, wait like 3 beats, meet Six's eyes, and go, "Did we just meet Annabelle's boss?"
I wasn't aware she had one.
I don't think a lot of people knew that she had one. Well, that's another arrow in the quiver. Let's go upstairs and hopefully not die, yeah?
Mm,
It can only get better from here.
mm,
And
that's a bit optimistic coming from you.
I've been hit with so many explosions over the past 2 weeks that if something nice happened upstairs, it would be a really pleasant and weird change that I don't expect.
Shall we?
Let's shall.
Mm.
And they will go.
As you all make your way up to the penthouse, Magdalena sits in her throne, the stone chair that sits near the back of the room. Fee and her are discussing some things, and as you kind of get up there, the rest of the group are standing there. Notably, Leon, your ghouls have been asked not to attend this meeting, so it is just you. Magdalena, once you all arrive, looks down the the way to all of you and says, "Please, closer. We must discuss the events of these past nights, and I have things to tell you about where the city is going."
Mercy will readily
Yeah.
step forward and make herself comfortable on one of the couches or
Yeah, there's
anywhere close. Is there close seating to her?
yes,
To her
yes,
throne?
there is
Yeah.
there is plenty of seating. The room changes around much like a teenager moving the room around all the time. It often is in different configurations to suit the need. But as you all sit and get comfortable, Fee first steps up and says, I believe that Prince Masters would like me to share some information with you on her behalf. Going forward, I believe for transparency, it's for the best. I have at times peeked into your minds for some of you. It is a serious invasion of privacy, and I assure you that I would not have done it if not at the request of the prince of this city. But it was to discover things, and in some cases to check up on certain members of this group. Primarily you, young masters. And also you, and she looks to Braggy at this time, to ensure that you were not acting against us of your own will. And you, and she turns to you, Leon. Your case is a little different, but I can confidently say that you have not been acting against us on your own will. I apologize. And this is really more for me. It makes me feel dirty. And Magdalena will chime in at that moment and say, yes, and I greatly appreciate and apologize for asking you to do it, Fee. Now, with that little hiccup out of the way, oh, one more thing. Roland mentioned something to me the other evening, something I found amusing. He said that the 6 was now the 3. Well, I have news. And Maggie gets up and goes to the room that sits behind where the throne sits. You hear scraping, and Magdalena comes out with 2 bodies, one in each hand. And she throws them unceremoniously on the floor. And she goes, I believe for some of you, this one will be familiar.
Yes.
Yes, that is a familiar
Yes, well,
visage.
you see, he wounded me in our fight. I believe it was the evening that we dealt with, or were at least working with your sire, Mercy.
Mm.
That didn't sit well with me. So, I tracked him down and found him the other evening, planning to conspire and wreak havoc with his fellow members. and murdered him. Additionally, Fee, a new boat, and the other body that she throws down is familiar to Roland.
Oh, yes, he is. Oh, I've seen that face before.
It's a
This
hard face to
one
forget.
here, I believe we can credit with the capture and attack on the former prince of the city, if memory serves.
That is correct.
They are both staked. I know not how long they will stay in torpor, but I intended to at least show them off before I sent them on to their final end.
And
That is
so,
correct.
so this is 2 out of the 3.
Yes.
Does that mean they're now the one?
Where's the third?
Well, you see, that is where you come in, Leon.
Or did her?
We believe, Fee and I, that your sire has been submerging directives into your subconscious to have you act in ways that could potentially be detrimental to what we are trying to accomplish, while simultaneously gathering information under the guise of seeking safe haven. You are muted, my dear.
Of course. Why wouldn't she? Can't.
Well, you know better than all of us how she treats you, and, well, it's part of the reason that I encouraged your extracurriculars. Why I tried to separate you as much as I could.
Wheels within wheels.
It is very possible that your sire is, in fact, one of the 6.
I could.
Oh, but of course. Oh.
If anybody's looking at Roland, he has a smirk on his face. Like a.
What do you need me to do?
Well, would you consent to let Fee pry deeper into your thoughts?
Fine.
At that moment, Fee will kind of walk up to you.
But
Hands out towards the side of your head, stopping.
I have one request, Prince. I need satisfaction. Not from you, no, from that bitch up in that little box. With your leave. Of course.
If it is determined that you are acting of not your own design, I believe that justice in this scenario could be warranted, yes. I give you the potential for said justice. under the caveat that you allow us to perform what we need to do first.
Bon. She looks at Fee. Go on then.
Fee looks into your eyes very intently. As you are a consenting vampire, let's see.
I believe it just shifts the duration and the clarity. Mechanically, I believe it's the same. Not that I looked this up this afternoon because I was like, the fuck? That didn't happen.
Yes, it's a full scene for a consenting vampire. Yeah, and since you are consenting, I don't believe we need to roll. So, with that regard, I'm not going to worry about a roll. Fee pries deep within your mind. I think I do have to rouse them.
What's that? What are those? The petite German woman with her hands on the sides of your head goes into a trance-like state. Had a similar experience back in the 60s.
Happens. The images that you see are mostly black, colorless, shadowy movements. The rest of you watching see this sort of almost tendrils of thought being pulled from the mind of Leon, with inky white tendrils coming out of her eyes and parts of her forehead and things like that. She does this deep dive, lasting 5-10 minutes or so. Fee closes her eyes. The hands come away. Leon, at this moment in time, your vision kind of refocuses back into the room. You see everybody kind of standing around you. Fee pulling away. And she puts her hand to her head. She takes off her glove and rubs her temple with her ungloved hand. She blinks a few times and looks at the prince and says, I found no deception in her words. I think any of her actions or anything that she did that would have been against you and the group would have been against her will and submerged. There's definite signs of dominated tampering. And then Fee goes to sit down on one of the couches herself and kind of recuperate. Roland.
Yes, my prince.
I think that you have regained your title as deputy of the city. Victoria's not good with the formalities of things. I'm making it official now. You have
By your
shown
leave,
me
my prince.
your worth, time and time again. It was Roland who brought this to my attention. I know that suspicions were had by some of you. But it is quite possible that Zana is, in fact, even more confirmed at this point, quite possibly a member of the Six. Roland, you said that you had some proof.
I do, so to speak. I pulled files off of Aurelius's computer, confirming who Zana is. Zana is the kindred sister of Jack. She showed up right when this started. Because of her background and because of her timing, and due to all the other events that have come to pass that only lead to one explanation that I can foresee. Now, if I'm proven wrong, so be it, but better safe than sorry at this juncture. She was either closely working with the Six or is in league with the Six.
Well, these accusations are definitely harsh ones, should they prove true. The sister of Jack. Interesting. The prince kind of thinks about this for a minute. You said Aurelius, one of the Six, had this information?
Yes.
Were you able,
He seemed like he wanted to do background checks on who he was with.
were you able to acquire any other information from this Aurelius character?
I was. He had dossiers on most of us. Roland will actually go and reach in and hand you each a file, like a hard copy
Wow.
of what
Catering
Aurelius had on
different.
each of you.
Do you hand Maggie anything?
Yeah. Yes. I hand Maggie with the information that he has on Zana and all of that.
Okay. Is it all the information that Aurelius had on Maggie and Zana?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
As Maggie opens up and begins to read through this file,
He would have sent it in an email, but that wouldn't have worked out well.
that wouldn't have done well. There is a certain moment that when Maggie is reading that you notice, all of you, visible anger and tension on her face.
Oh, good.
Oh shit.
Oh.
And you see that moment where it starts to slip, and you hear, honestly, you would hear with the way that she clenches her fists. It sounds like when an anchor of a large ship is pulled taut. And
Cool. Fortitude. Reflexively.
That seems important.
No, it's just
hold-
he's actively just like hyper aware of how bad this could be and is notably like reacting out of well,
Roland.
hold up, one second before you mean well.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
I've started something. I'm sorry.
No, I may
It's
be able to
supposed
help.
Be funny.
No, I may be able to help actually.
Hmm.
I have a new power, and I'm trying to see if it actually.
Oh, I know what you're doing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it will work. Cool. Okay. He will walk up to Maggie. May I touch you?
Go on.
He touches, and I will use. Shit, where is it? There it is. Okay.
It's composure aspects, I believe.
Yes.
Is the rule. And arouse.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, I gotta figure out what that.
It just allows you to it calms.
You have a
I don't know
difficulty
if it
of
had
2
okay.
with your composure aspects roll. Okay, you did your 2. Restores a number of superficial willpower damage levels equal to the margin on the roll. Okay, so you don't.
But it also it calms, that's why I was like
True.
I don't know if it actually accomplishes a frenzy to resist frenzy or helps with that.
She had burned a willpower to resist the frenzy and to not
Oh, okay.
explode in a fit of anger, but this
Okay.
definitely does serve the purpose of calming the prince. And in a more metered tone now than what was kind of gravelly coming out of her mouth before, she says, "Has anyone else seen this?" With a heavy
No.
emphasis.
No.
Just you?
Yes.
Roland,
To
could
be
you...
fair, I haven't really looked through it so much as we were very busy recently.
Understand.
I just kind of compiled what he had and gave it all to everybody.
I don't intend to... It's not your fault. I'm fully aware of that. Have no concern there. Could you do me a favor, though, and call Will up here, please?
Certainly. He will go away. Get Will.
You do that. A few minutes pass. Will arrives. Yeah? Burn this. And she holds the file out. He goes, yeah, right away. And grabs the file and leaves to presumably go burn it. And that's all from Will for right now.
because fire.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't think about us not being able to burn our own paper documents.
Mm-hmm.
It had never quite occurred to me.
I mean, you
The
can. You
greater-
just might run away in
Go up
fear
like kindling.
and explode. Yeah.
Fun times.
Well, it would appear that the Six did their research, and likely were working with people that knew a lot about us, even before we were here.
I hate to add bad news, but
I'm sure that's not entirely true.
however, if this was on Aurelius's computer, if it was information that he gathered, I would be concerned that Stone and his organization are likely aware of it as well.
The information, though painful, doesn't pose a threat in the traditional sense. Additionally, I've met and spoken with this stone. He seems quite lovely. And
He
quite
seems
brave for someone that has a beating heart. But respectful and,
no nonsense.
yes, that is the air that I gathered. Ah. Yes. There is the matter of the future of the city. Forgive me. There has been a lot going on. Please. Is there anything that I can do? You have all done a great service to this city. Anything that you would ask, I will do. I believe now would be a sufficient time to address some of these issues before moving forward. Braggy, I'm inclined to loosen your chain a bit. Mercy, please, do that. Let this kindred of ours have a little more freedom. I think he's earned it.
Thank you,
It will be
Prince
done.
Masters.
Braggy, this is new for you, I know. Leon, I am aware that we have issues with your sire to deal with, but first, let's try and keep things a little bit more light. You all are owed. You performed tasks for me that I asked of you with no pushback, admirably, and to the natural extent that I had sought. And as much as I love to reward people out of the goodness of my black heart, I never know quite what to get those who have everything. So please, if there's anything that you think of that you would like, feel free to ask of it.
Ygritte takes a really deep breath and then responds to Magdalena and she goes, excuse me, Prince. I do have something I would like to ask of you, if I may.
Of course.
Um, with the previous threat, you gave me permission to be embraced. And I have spoken to Roland, and he has agreed to be my sire. The only thing I ask is that I need help creating a mask, as Ygritte will no longer exist to the mortal world. To protect my family.
I understand very well the desire to protect one's family. I will get you a mask if you get me a name that you would like to go by. Additionally, my offer for you to be embraced was never off the table. Though, and with a small smirk, Maggie goes, "Are you sure you want him to be your sire?"
She does smile and laugh slightly, looking at the floor and be. He takes a lot of abuse, but honestly, I don't think I'd want anyone else.
The same small smirk on her face. Very well. You've made your choice. I will say that for all of the jabs that I might take on your poor sire, to be, he is one of the better kindred of this city, and one that makes Chicago the resource that it truly is.
All of those are in character, by the way.
I assumed. I wish for you the best on life, Ygritte. Know that you are always welcome in these halls. You are welcome in this city and any other place that I dwell, with all of the amenities that will be afforded to you with your new status.
Thank you, Prince Masters.
Additionally, and she kind of looks at the ground at this point, now will be more annoying than ever.
I apologize, Prince.
Well, you are perfectly capable and able if you would like to embrace here, wherever. You have my blessing. I only wish to meet the new Ygritte when she is ready.
Make sure you get your appearance down pat first. You'll be stuck with it a while.
Why do you think I went with the new look?
Yes,
Lovely. I think red's a great color, really.
it is
Yeah, Matt,
definitely.
I have actually changed my character picture now.
Oh. You'll have to send it to me and I will update it. Oh, I see it.
I updated it on my character sheet already, so.
Fancy.
Alright. I will work on that. As this conversation is being had, Maggie says, "Yes, many don't get to have the luxury of picking how they look before they are embraced, though some of us don't turn out all bad." And she then looks to the rest of you. If if this is what you collectively, if you have nothing more to ask, then we can move forward, but I don't want to cut you short.
If I may find time with you soon in private.
Ah, yes. Actually, there is something that I wish to do with you.
Oh, well,
Oh.
we should leave.
Shut your mouths.
Only in your sweetest dreams, Roland.
What? I said nothing of the sort.
The thing that I wish
Aspersions
to
upon-
do is to... Well, I've needed a good sparring partner, and I feel like, at least from what I've been told, you are at a proper level to provide an interesting bout.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Holy shit!
Super fucking cool.
And
That
also,
is super
Fancy.
duper
you
cool.
will no longer find Ygritte's picture
Taste.
under the ghouls. She will be in Clan Toreador tab
Yay.
with her sire. Oh, and I did this too. If you'll direct your attention to the lovely nameplate under Ygritte's picture.
You got the thing. You did the thing.
Though
That's the
you
sign
haven't-
of leveling up.
Though you haven't officially been embraced, it's good enough. We are in spirit in this time.
God damn it! I have to update my intro video.
I know.
Yes.
Sorry.
While
No,
things
I'm
are
not
being
sorry. I can do that in 5 seconds. That'll be real good.
That's fair.
while things are being updated, we do know Braggy's clan now.
Ah, that is a fair point. Mr. Gunnar, you are being upgraded to... If I could read. We can also probably put some of these other characters where they are supposed to go. Eventually, we have the 6.
There's a lot.
Some other things. However, the prince is looking at you all, expectantly waiting for requests that you would like to have filled, if any should exist.
There'll be just a really brief mention. Nothing from you, Prince Masters, but so that you know, I caught Annabelle on the way out the door. And I am submitting the mansion as a potential Elysium for Chicago. So that, if we wish, we don't have to keep crowding up your halls all the time.
There's a slight head tilt as Maggie goes, I think that only fitting as a primogen of this city. You need a place to meet, to call your own, and I would have it no other way. Though, as always, Antonius, you are welcome here forever. And there's no cluttering of my halls.
That is kind. Thank you. And I'm sure Annabelle would have told you soon enough, but I'd rather you hear it from me directly.
Perhaps. But I appreciate the gesture. Mercy, is there anything that I can do for you, dear daughter?
She will lapse here for a while into a silence as she sort of ponders the things that she could ask. But after a moment, will we'll say it has been a night. Well, it has been many nights of change and some struggle. And right now, I am completely unable to think of even the smallest favors I had to ask of you perhaps a week ago. In this moment, I can think of nothing to ask. Perhaps you will give me the grace of time to think on this.
Absolutely. I see no reason not to. And the same for you six. I know that Tony usually keeps you well supplied and well taken care of, though I find it only appropriate that you have the same favor to ask of me as any more of you do.
Might I take a rain check on that?
Absolutely. Braggy,
Appreciate
additionally, you are welcome to think on something, perhaps talk it over with Mercy. You are unfamiliar with what you may need for your new unlife, so if there is something that comes up, please let me know.
I will. Thank you, Prince Masters.
Now, Fee, please have them bring her up. And Fee will get up and go to her small office off to the side. A few moments later, 4 men, fully armored, fully armed, and will come up in the elevator, bringing with them the sort of not really encased, but on kind of a gurney with various straps. Zana lying down on there, and she is set in the middle of all of you. She is still staked at this point, or restaked. I do not recall if you pulled out the stake, but she has been restaked if you did. And as she kind of lays strapped to this gurney before you, the a little bit like that, yeah. The late great Hannibal Lecter. Anyway, the prince looks to you, Leon, and says, "You're welcome to have your justice after we determine that she is in fact who we think she is." And Fee will get down and perform the same ritual on Zana as she did you. Pulling away from this torpored vampire some time later, she has a similar reaction, but says her mind is very well protected. Though I do believe it is true that she is the kindred sister of Jack. Leon, I can also confirm that she has been manipulating you, dominating you, and making you do things against your will the entirety of your embrace.
I am not entirely surprised. Is that all the proof you need, Prince?
Well, Fee kind of speaks up once more. There's one additional thing. I don't know conclusively that she was working with the Six. I saw that she spoke with Claymore when she was taken. The memory. And again, her mental fortitude is great. But it did not strike me as old friends meeting. Claymore seems to have known Jack fairly well, and I believe that is why she sought Zana out. Maybe Zana had some desire to speak with Claymore for closure or some other reasoning, but I didn't get the sense that they were working together. Though, as she's torpored, and we may not want to wait until she awakens fully. She is conscious as of now, that is how torpor works, but she is unable to really verbally defend herself. Though, for what it's worth, I don't think that she is one of the Six. And then Fee will step aside.
I have a very bad theory.
What's that?
Well, at least to everyone in this room, and no further, mind you, it's known that Zana's story, at least coming to the city, was that she was fleeing from her sire. Could be an invented tale. Or, with the story I'm hearing here, that lines up to the concept, at least, that the last of this Six might actually be Zana's sire, which means it's also the sire of Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Secondarily, Leon, how does it feel to be niece of the Ripper?
A bit like being the aunt of Mr. Hyde, I suppose.
It's a theory, and I hope I'm wrong.
I mean,
I
Well,
hope you're wrong as well.
but knowing how long I've been in the city and what I've seen, you're probably right. It only makes sense. Let's just put more chaos into this city than is necessary. I'm sorry. It's been one thing after another.
How do we prepare our city for
How about Thuza?
Jack's sire? Methuselah.
That's a big word.
Well, here's the thing, as Magdalena pipes up. This city, unbeknownst to many, is coalescing into a unified force. The last few nights that I've spent were with the Anarchs and the Baron. Our alliance
That's why he
is...
won't take my call.
No, she won't take your calls because...
No, Genghis. He's been very busy.
Oh,
He can't take calls because he doesn't have any fingers.
Fingers.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Well, I know that too, but he wouldn't come play when we were out playing, and I was quite surprised. Usually the bigger fight wins, but if the prince was involved, I imagine he had his bets on the bigger fight there.
there has been a lupine incursion, the Sabbat encroach, all in the span of a week or so. It has been eventful. However, what has happened is in the chaos caused by the Sabbat, they have not only unified both the Anarchs and the Camarilla under a banner of Prince Masters, but they have forced the Lupines to acknowledge a slight ceasefire. The ones that Victoria mentioned, along with several dozen others that ran rampant on that night, that were put down by kindred of this city of all ilk, were the rebellious youth of the clan. The Baron Wainwright, and her subordinates were able to broker a deal, tenuous at best, but I believe that the Lupine invasion, at least the more dangerous kind, is a thing that we won't have to worry about moving forward.
That is good news.
The losses that we suffered were my people, Anita's people, various kindred from the city died in the last few nights to protect what we hold here, and it has only emboldened our forces to become one, become stronger together. So,
Prince, if I may,
yes,
it would also seem our alliance with the Labyrinth has been strengthened. Clancy came to mine and Roland's aid when we were trying to stop Aurelius's broadcast.
that is...
I'm not sure if him and I would have made it out. Roland and I would have made it out if Clancy hadn't have intervened.
Indeed.
That is quite good to hear, actually. I should be meeting with him sometime in the next few evenings or so. I will make sure to mention your praises.
On that very same note, in the course of our investigations, I called upon Clancy and he was here in moments. He seems very happy to support the Masters.
Even better. Because the thing that is going to happen in the coming time, Fee, if you would be so kind. Fee will once again get up and go to her office and come back with a wooden box about this big. Your sister, Mercy, did some digging for me when she was overseas. Along with work provided by Fee here, there's some information that has come to light about the future of me. Of anyone here, and the younger ones probably won't understand this. Tony, perhaps Roland, are you familiar with the founding of the Camarilla?
I unfortunately am not. I am on the younger side as well, my prince.
That's quite all right. Very few are. It happened long ago. One of the founding members of the Camarilla was a man that went by the name Hardstadt. He was a figure of power in the Holy Roman Empire, helped establish the clans, the Camarilla. And I can trace my lineage back to him, which is why I can do this. And she slams her foot down and speaks, and it echoes throughout the hall. What was found was a document signed by Hardstadt that we have here. She opens the box and she shows the parchment, the paper inside. It has been verified to be legitimate. And, well, I'll read it to you. There will come a time in the City of Wind, the jewel of this new world, where new masters will rise to unite, not divide, and take a seat in the inner circle. Antonius, the abilities of certain clans can see through time in ways. It is believed by not just myself, Fee, Abraham Dusab, many that have looked over this document, that it is a false or forged document. And now many of those people are proclaiming that it designates me to move into a position of the inner circle. The secret group behind the motivations of the Camarilla throughout the entire world.
For those younger here, it would probably be easier to say that I believe our dear prince is considering moving from local government to federal. Is that
I
what
see.
what you intend?
It would appear that it is an option.
Preordained?
I don't like to use that word,
Me neither. But
but the powers of the blood in the beginning, we both know, were far different than they are now. The things that they were able to do and see, we know not. Nevertheless, this document, regardless of what it truly means, is being held by some to designate that I am owed a place at the inner circle, dictating the future of kindred of the Camarilla. And if that is the case, Chicago will become a vacuum of power, and I cannot let that happen. Additionally, I believe, despite that word of preordainment, if I am to take a place at the inner circle, that I can do for the Camarilla what has not been done in millennia. I can change it. I will have a voice that is listened to by those with true power to do these changes. And I might, in some small way, be able to ensure the survival of our species on a grander scale than I can do here. So, I guess what I'm saying is that in the nights to come, I need a successor. I need to ensure this city is buttoned up. Because if I do move to the inner circle, I will not have time for Chicago.
Mercy's gaze turns to Antonius.
he just kind of looks back and gives one of the
She's looking at him like, you're the most powerful person in this room. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, congratulations.
I don't
She's right.
know how I feel about it.
Look at what you've already done for our city with the Thin Bloods and the Kessiffs and our labyrinth dwelling friends.
Fair. My blood makes me feel I have come from nothing, and the blood of the clan that I was given has made me desire more power to rule, to change. But amongst my clan, I am unique. I am outside of the norm. She will look to Ygritte. I grace ghouls with my presence. I embrace those among us who are thin-blooded. I work hand in hand with anarchs and lesser clans. I unite where I can, and it has not made me many friends with traditionalists. It has not made me viewed well with those above me, those older than me.
Respectfully. Good.
Well, that is also my sentiment, Antonius. I have looked at my nature of swimming upriver as a benefit, a boon to my successes. It's easy to be unpredictable when there are centuries of examples that you break. I am concerned that the inner circle will not welcome me without bloodshed. And I've come to know some things about them. Namely, that only one member from each clan is allowed. And their Ventrue spot is full. For now. Because of this letter, because of this evidence and the groundswell of attention that it has brought upon me, it is likely that someone from the inner circle, likely who may have known Hardstadt himself in his time, will come to verify it. It is my belief that that will be the Ventrue that is on the inner circle. Now, with the words I'm about to say, do not leave this room, because if they do, not only will I kill you, but everyone that you love, everyone that you've ever known, every barista, every late-night store clerk that's ever glimpsed your visage will be wiped from the face of this planet. If the member of the inner circle that comes here to check this, and she holds the box up slightly, is the member of Clan Ventrue, the representative, that I would be taking their spot. I am going to murder them. I'm going to grant them a final death and take my place, or I am going to die trying. And I would like for you all to support me more so than the other kindred of the city that have voiced support. There might be a time that I require you to physically be here.
Done.
Always.
No, I've been here since your rise. I see no reason to change that now.
Always.
Of course.
We
All eyes in the room on 6.
Would you support me, Six? Would you be here if I needed you to be, to potentially fight a foe that is far more powerful than anything you've ever seen?
I mean, that hasn't stopped me before. Why would I stop?
Excellent. Then I will tell you this. From this moment forward, while Chicago has its court of primogens, of which you are one, Tony, Chicago now has a second court, a secret court. And from this court, I will be choosing that successor. So, as much as I hate to foist upon one of you the responsibilities of this city, I see no better group of candidates. And I imagine that there will be ample opportunity to either prove you are the one or get yourself eliminated.
Leon kind of like looks side to side. More?
Maggie looks at you and goes, "Not likely, but it's possible." To be fair, I'm talking to this side of the room.
Roland shifts to the other side of the room.
Roll that side of the room over there?
My heart shattered.
Well,
Color me shocked by this revelation that perhaps Leon is less likely. Weird.
notably, Braggy was in that group too. Sorry, Braggy.
Yeah, no.
You're
No, that's fine.
you're
I
very
don't want
young. You would get eaten immediately.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Immediately.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. I don't want it.
Now, as entertaining as this thought is, and knowing the uphill battle that we will come to face, I must say that I never thought that this is where I would be.
I can't imagine how. Like, who expects a call from higher government?
It's
Obviously
secret
not the
sitting
rich.
near Mercy.
We'll say she's between Roland and Mercy.
Mercy puts her arm around Egret, looks at Maggie, who's been Prince for all of, 2 seasons, and says, "They grow up so fast."
Maggie's eyes narrow at that,
Girl, that fist of Cain ain't gonna save you.
and Fee at this moment goes, "I don't even need to read her mind. She's thinking about throwing you through that window behind you."
At least once per important meeting, Maggie considers how much easier life would be if she were to just be rid of me. I am almost certain.
Maggie
Egret looks
raises.
at Mercy and just goes, "Don't get me killed before I even get embraced."
Don't get me killed before I get killed. Maggie's eyebrow raises and she goes, "I would not choose to be rid of any of you. Your loyalty is rare among our kind. The only thing that I can promise whoever takes this seat is that by the time I leave, this city will be a united force, and the threats will be under control, and that if there is influence and power that I can exert from afar or above, I will do so. I mean it when I say that Chicago is the jewel of the Camarilla, and I'm not the only one who believes that. Nevertheless,
Plus, it'll really piss off Annabelle.
You're not wrong.
Well, I voted Roman just for that reason.
I'm not ruling out that another kindred will step up to take the mantle. But I assure you that I won't pass it without the blessings of those here. Again, this side of the room. You two, I apologize, you're not really in the running.
I don't want it.
Egret, you're in the running.
You're stealing to the other couch.
Well, what to do with Zana?
What indeed?
Well, if she's not a member of the Six, there's no bloodhunt against her.
That is true.
And she's not awake for us to ask her.
This is also true. However, one thing that I have consistently despised amongst some of our kind is their desire to control those beneath them with subterfuge and do it against their will. I've always been one to fight out in the open, and I feel that it is an admirable quality. And that mistrust and that subterfuge must weigh heavily on you, Leo.
The line between love and hate is said to be paper thin.
So, should Zana meet her final death? Here, now? I would overlook it.
You honor me, Prince.
But for your safety, and because the blood hunt would not apply to her, diablerie is not an option.
Mercy notably tenses when you growl. This is not the first time you've done this. Last time you growled, she got really pissy. Now you're in front of the prince. You'll notice that she's almost out of her seat. But she keeps it. She's just very tense.
Secondarily, Tony doesn't move at all. He is kind of like a little weirdly too still. But when the growl happens, the red eyes turn to glowing red eyes. They don't move. He doesn't move an inch, but he watches.
That is a very time-honored tradition to me.
I am aware that it is generally how your kind go. Nevertheless, I feel a point to mention that while she is in torpor, she is conscious of her surroundings and has heard this conversation, so regardless of your choice, there is little that I will be able to do in letting her leave this room. I was passing the courtesy of the final blow to you, but it will come whether or not you are the one to take it.
Oh, I will take it. I was just hoping to dissuade you of your decision. She would be a terrible thing to waste. And I could use those resources in Chicago's name, were you to let me.
If you were to survive.
True.
Also, if the prince allowed you to do this, enemies could use it against her.
If I may, Leon. And now Tony will actually stand up. Still a little like weirdly still, but I understand Zamisi tradition. My clan is also historically not Camarilla. I understand what it's like to be an outsider. But let me pose this to you. The tradition of diablerie against our elders is a Sabbat tradition. It's where you come from, it's what you know. I understand this. But I'll also present this. The Sabbat is broken in Chicago and without. Zamisi are coming to the Camarilla and the Anarchs in droves, much like the La Sombra did. It might be an act of good faith, goodwill, if you were to handle this situation in a way more befitting of the status of a member of the Camarilla, by making a new tradition. The prince has given you her life. End it as you will. But maybe it would be best in this new way. Oh, and he'll glance down to Zana. Not only can she hear everything that we're saying, she will be able to feel everything that you do to her. And she can't even blink. Then Antonius is going to sit back down.
Subtle.
I will leave the decision to the prince, of course. But my opinion stands that we are throwing a weapon away.
Prince Masters regards you and your words, and looks to the rest of you, being Tony, Roland, Egret, Six, and Mercy. Sorry, Braggy. And says, You have entered willingly with me into this conspiracy. You support me, and I have no reason to distrust any of you. You've all been there for me when I've asked. You've all done what I've asked. Leon, I can promise you that in the nights to come and what I plan to do to make sure this city is ready, there will be ample opportunity to gain power. It is I alone who can call a blood hunt, and the enemies of mine shall be thoroughly eradicated. However, in this regard, my opinion is to refrain and let her meet a final death at your hand, not at your teeth. But I would like the 5 of you, looking at Tony, Mercy, Egret, Roland, and Six, to let your voices be known. You 5 decide the fate of Zana. If you, a majority of you, vote that a diablerie is required or allowed, I will respect it. If you vote that we maintain new traditions and pull away from these old ways, I will respect it. But in this vote, I will leave it to you. And she will then sit back in her throne
And let her council conspire.
and let the council decide.
While I am in favor of new traditions and have picked fights larger than I should in the name of respect for those who are not traditionally respected among the Camarilla. I stand by the fact that diablerie is not the right call here. Even in our fights these nights recently past, it has only been when we were outnumbered and nearly at the end of our strength that we resorted to something like this. I do not think diablerizing a kindred in torpor, helpless before us, and being judged upon when she cannot weigh in is right by any definition.
She would do so much worse.
And you would stoop to her level, and I think that speaks poorly. The whole point of what has been done in this city is to change for the better. And diablerie is not, in my understanding, a change for the better. And for that reason, I will not be swayed. I do not think that diablerie is the right answer here.
Roland will lean forward. Look at Leon. Go. I am also one for new traditions. Doing the things that I do on a daily basis go in the face of most kindred. I understand that you will desire the power that she has. In some ways, I commend you to do that, but do it under your own power. Do not let her dictate what you are capable of. You will steal her power, make it yours. It will never truly be yours. She will always be inside your head. Do this in spite of her. Become more powerful than she is. Because you can. And because she did not believe you could. Which is why she kept you under her thumb. Kill her. End your misery. But do not take her into your soul.
You see a stream of crimson come down Leon's left cheek.
With respect, if it's all right with the other two here, I'd like to go last. I'd like to hear what the ladies have to say first.
Ygritte shifts in her seat and then it leans in. I know as a ghoul, my opinion does not mean much to you. But as a person...
No, do not think that. My best friends are ghouls.
Does Zana deserve the honor of tradition? Or for everything she's put you through, does she deserve to be put down? As Roland said, if you diablerize her, she will be in your head and have some semblance of control over you for the rest of your own life. Do you really want that? For power you can gain under your own terms? If you diablerize her, she will always have that little bit of control over you. Don't give her that pleasure. And she leans back and looks to Six.
More or less, Ygritte pretty much took the words out of my mouth. There are quite a few individuals out there that I would love to suck every last drop of blood from their bodies. It may be torment to end them, but to keep them in your head as a reminder of what you've done. I'd have to agree with the others.
Tony will finally sit forward. The short version is, I largely agree with the rest of the group, but there's something a little more important going on. Leon, I want you to acknowledge the fact that we are all sitting around your sire, who can hear us. She can't say anything right now. But while it's important for us to talk about our opinions, I want to hear more from you, if you were willing to share. If Zana were able to speak as she would, and you know how she speaks, would she be... Well, tell me how she would take this. Let it have some form in the air. What would she be saying?
She would be tearing me down. To get a foothold. She would try to convince me to attack you all in all the slight chance of her escape. We spent 75 years groveling for to love me as I loved her, as I love her. And I have never taken counsel from anyone but mine. Most of them aren't here. And the last is incapacitated. And I look around at all of you, and I am swayed. I am swayed to throw out everything I've ever been taught about what you do to get revenge on a kindred. In moments.
Thank you. I have one more question. If that's all right.
But of course.
Don't say yes yet. It might be personal. And he looks around. I'm a bit newer to this group as well. Some of you might have seen me around, helping. But not a lot of you really know me that well. Leon, how much do you know about the goings-on of the old clan Giovanni?
I have very few kind words to be said.
You would be correct. My life started a lot like it sounds yours did. Giovanni start when you're mortal. They bring you into their sphere of influence. They start working your mind to believe that it's just about the family, the group. And there's always one. I spent a lot of years as a ghoul, bound to that one. And it is an incessant point of hatred in my... A lot of bad things happen. So while Zana's alive, still, The last thing I want to ask you is if you are willing to share. What is the one thing that she has done to you that you remember the most? All of us have that one thing. And I think she needs to hear it before the end.
Leon goes up to the scarf that is always tied around her neck, and she removes it. And you see, almost like gills, two slightly larger than would seem normal mouths on the side of her neck. And all three in harmony at the same time speak. Some art can never be undone.
At this point, Magdalena will speak up once again. It would appear that you have been given your decision and have been swayed to make a new tradition. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes. I
Very
have to
well.
get creative.
Well, I believe then, at least for the time being, that resting and recuperating has been earned and is warranted. You have all helped to make Chicago what it is. This city, our home, my springboard kingdom. May soon realize that true monsters still exist. And as much as I feel that I am, mentally at least, up to the challenge, it remains to be seen if our collective might will win over against these old beasts. But I am happy to have you all at my back. So thank you.
As the prince finishes her speech, Leon is going to crouch down near Zana. Did you hear all of that, Honema? You will not see how powerful I get. You will not feel me ever again. You will be nothing. How many times? How many times have you told me that? Nothing. But do not worry. We will have fun before you fade. such fun. And she stands up and walks over to one of the couches and sits down.
Well, to new traditions, to new ways, and to the future of kindred all over the world. And that's
Hear,
where we
hear.
will fade out.
Ooh.
You manage to sufficiently exact your revenge on Zana before the evening plays out.
We're not going to play it out for all the little kitty.
No, I think not.
No, you can write that in the downtime if it makes you happy.
Yeah, you
I'll
can do
read
that.
it. I'll read the shit out
Not that a downtime is required. Those of you who have not already spent the 5 XP that you were going to get from this game, because I did allow you to spend it preemptively, can add that. But that will conclude this season of the Reign of Masters. And we
Oh
will
my god.
then move to yet another game at some point to be determined, where I will go from a very powerful prince to inner circle creature thing to a very scared little priest. That'll be a really fun time.
It will be fun to watch you scream.
I don't know. I don't know what you're expecting, but
Oh boy.
get ready, because this is what you're gonna be hearing most of the time. This and a little bit of "Oh my gods!" And
I love how you broke up
Oh.
for that because it was so powerful.
My little Scottish friend. It will be
Yeah.
no.
it will be good
It should
when they
be
flay
fan.
you when they flay you alive.
Mercy, just for fun, here's how things play out, because I do want this to be
Oh,
captured a little bit.
Oh, good.
Sure.
As the nights progress, Zana is taken care of. Leon, you are given a permanent residence within the Master's Suites. As well as you, Braggy, you are also given a permanent home. You are
Yay.
allowed to furnish however you choose. You understand the rules that come along with the protection of the prince and living here.
No people furniture.
No people furniture. Correct. That is rule number 1.
You gotta get your own pad for that.
Yeah, you got, which you're welcome to do. Additionally, for those of you that have no resource dots or are below 3 resource dots, anybody fall into that category? Okay.
Do I get Zana's resources?
You will get some resources. If you are below 3 resource dots, you can move yourself up to 3 resource dots. Any of you now have 3 resource dots, as the prince pays you all a hefty sum for completing the tasks that are required. Along with, narratively, we will say, Leon, you are in acquisition of certain holdings.
Famous opera singer.
That's true as well. So, if you don't have 3 resources, you do now. Mercy, make an attack as you and the prince take one evening to spar with one another. You also will be required to activate your ability, your new ability.
Okay.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
Sure.
Watch for the left hook.
Then just a brawl attack.
Come on, Mick.
Uh-huh.
You got a shit lightning and crap thunder.
Would she have? I mean, would she also have activated all of her abilities? Presumably, she'd be fast and strong and damaging to Kindred. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You can go entirely all out on the prince, who, at this moment in time, as you guys are kind of off on your own in this little sparring session, at most likely a gym that has been bought out and renovated just for the purposes of this.
Oh, jeez.
Magdalena, for the first time, and again, only Mercy is here. Nobody else is
Damn.
here.
All right.
There's no drones outside the windows or
Maggie
anything.
is wearing
what
sweats.
else?
Great.
Maggie is fully in
Sorry.
sweats.
Well,
Full
so that's why
sweatsuit.
we can't see it. We
It's
don't
like-
have
there might
to
be
fight. We just can't see the prince in sweats.
It's
There
like
might
a Gucci sweatsuit. It's very bougie.
there might be drones.
Are you really rolling a 1 to hit?
I could roll a willpower.
Okay, you're gonna punch Maggie because she's gonna let you do it.
Okay, sure.
So
Yeah, because I'm lucky like that. So I rolled a 1.
okay, but that will be a success because she is not moving. She has not activated any of her abilities. So what would your damage be in this sense?
You activated my trap code.
Okay, so
Nope. There are no drones.
how does damage
No,
work
nope, there are no
anyway? So I've never actually hit something barehanded, so I don't know how it works.
Okay.
You do the damage of however many successes you get, plus
Which-
whatever your powers are.
Yes. So 1, and then your Fists of Cain makes all of it aggravated towards
Right.
another kindred.
So that's a 6 because I have 5 points of potence, and prowess allows me to add that to my unarmed damage.
I believe it allows you to add half of it to your unarmed damage.
That is if I'm using a melee. So
Yep, if you're brawling,
potent
you get
dreading
the
to
whole thing.
unarmed is feat
Oh.
of strength is
Beautiful.
potent dreading, and
So
then half the
you
yeah.
do 6 points of aggravated damage to the prince. 3, 4, 5, 6. Congratulations. You've just put Maggie at half health.
Jesus.
Oh
Okay.
God. Okay.
So now
You break your hand.
she does not. Oh no, she will get hungrier for that one. That's a much higher power. So Maggie will look at you and she will go, "Here's what I'm going to do for you, Mercy. I'm going to show you the threat of what I can do, truly. And then I want you to understand, as my daughter, what is coming to this city. It is likely worse than me."
Oh God. All right. Mercy's gonna be in torpor. All right. Lay it on me. Don't cackle at me, 6. You know I'm right. If Maggie hits me for 6 points of ag damage, I'll be dead.
She's not gonna hit you for ag. Okay, now I have to put this caveat in here because,
She's going to choose to not actually kill Mercy.
well, probably not. She is probably gonna pull back, but I have to roll additional dice after I make this roll because I can't make my pool
Roll
size
enough.
modifier the correct
It
size.
won't let you. Yep.
So
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's go.
It's gonna be
Can you feel this
Holy
music? Because I'm doing this light as
What
I
the
can.
11 isn't enough.
11 is not enough.
okay, and then
Okay.
there's an additional 4.
So 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
that's not. No, that was
five,
that was a D4. I rolled it wrong. So
Oh, okay.
6, 7,
3 more
8.
successes.
8
Yeah.
successes.
Okay, 8 successes.
Jesus. And then you can willpower like most of that.
Yeah,
could.
a lot of times.
I could. But you will take 8 plus 2, and that is what you took. You took 8 points of superficial damage from just that, and that
Cool.
that is that roll. So, that was more of a teaser for everybody to see. The next season will have threats that are scarier than the ones this season.
Oh, Jesus.
But
Oh, naturally.
I I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. They won't all be as physical. You won't be fighting 100 claymores,
That could be even worse.
but it
Yeah.
could be even
Actually.
worse.
It'd be fun though.
Yeah.
So, here's a question I have for your ruling on No Diablere.
Yes.
I spent all the experience I got from that last big thing to increase my blood potency. Just for that.
How much did you? How much? Because what was your blood potency at before?
2, so I increased it 1.
You had 30 XP?
No, it's only 20.
No.
10 times.
10 times the level. So it would have been 30
Oh,
XP
cool.
to go up to
so
level
I'm
3.
just going to say I didn't do that.
Yeah, no, you can.
I can't.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Blood potency is that's a
Really
rough
expensive.
Then that takes care of my question anyway.
One. Okay, yeah, you refunded that and can play with those points as you wish.
But you
I
can
just
just
want
crank
to
up your
know-
blood potency with XP just without Diablo. You can just do it.
Mhm.
Relevant to Maggie punching Mercy back.
Yeah.
If she had done 2 more points of damage, she still would have hit Torpor.
Right, because you have what, 5 health?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she will.
How
It will
does-
be like the smallest little punch too. Like Maggie will have just like a 2-inch punch, just poof, and that's what it would have felt like.
Does one increase health? Just curiosity.
I think it's your composure.
It is your composure
No,
and your
it's
stamina, or it's your stamina plus 3. But
Oh, interesting.
but additionally, you can increase it through fortitude, resilience,
Okay.
which is why Maggie's is higher than that. Maggie is a pool of health and muscle.
Yeah, the first power of fortitude adds how much fortitude you have to your health.
Yeah.
So
Plus
as
you
you
factor in-
increase fortitude later on, it makes your health even bigger
Right.
as you go.
Plus, if you factor in things like toughness and defy bane and things like that reduce damage at a base level, you become exponentially more tanky as you get stronger fortitude.
Yeah.
And other things that affect that, like the fact that Maggie got an additional 6 die just because Mercy punched her for 6 damage, and then she used her prowess from pain to beef herself up. 'Cause
Fortitude's fucking silly, guys.
Fortitude, I would argue personally, and I know it's because my main character, who is now the prince, is Fortitude monster. I would say Fortitude is probably, in my opinion, the best ability in V5. But nevertheless, that is the Reign of Masters. Thank you all for the special midweek extra special post-mortem episode.
I'm so happy.
Ygritte is no longer protected, as when I call for rouse checks, there will be rouse checks now that
We
have
all
to
have
make.
to do it.
And
Woo!
like I mentioned to her last night when we were reworking her character to be fully kindred, there's a certain special little shotgun round that she can no longer use. It's sad.
Aww.
Oh
No. I believe we said she can.
Oh, she can, but she may run away in fear and drop her shotgun. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's very much the like, yeah.
That's why we put the shotgun on a string.
I love this. Like, this is the fucking thing with vampire. And I have to say before we go off the air, that's vampire in a nutshell. It can go from completely serious, like utter, like deep emotional trauma to the thing I just described. That was basically a skit from the Muppets. It goes all the way.
Seriously, we tied a shotgun on a string, and when she drops it, it just chases after her.
Then does he not stop running?
Wouldn't that put her that would put her into a permanent terror frenzy though, because you only lose it when you are out of sight of
Well, if
it.
it's behind her, it's out of sight, right?
No, she just has to hide around a corner.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm all for that. I don't that would be great.
God damn it. I love this game.
As a note, Egret, and it only came up one time, but 6 of those, ironically, 6, not you, I'm sorry, 6 of those 20 rounds were tampered with. So you have 5 bad ones.
What about Will's?
let's see.
Did
How
Will's
many?
have bad ones?
Will they're about, it's about the same ratio. So
Sure.
about a quarter of the
Bastard.
So
rounds
let's
were
see.
bad.
I had 19. I think I shot about 8 rounds.
One of them was bad.
So that's
Really crucial.
11. So I've got 6 good ones left.
Yep.
Can you tell that my dog is starving to death right now?
Only
like
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's starving.
By next season, I'm sure you could have gone
Oh.
through and oh my goodness.
Poor puppy.
Which ones were the
So
bad rounds?
if anybody has any final little bits or anything to add that you would like to get caught in this last video capture, feel free. Otherwise, we'll come back when we come back. We're gonna play a Raytog special next time and do some spooky stuff where I don't have to look at 14 different
14
windows
screens.
and play
Yeah.
35 different characters at once and do rolls in secret to see how many fingers Genghis loses. So yeah,
Yeah, somebody should tell him he's supposed to let go of the grenade.
he tried.
So, okay, no, that's what I want to know. I want what exactly happened
Here's
to
how
Genghis.
the scenario
I
played
want to
out.
know how he got the nickname of Nubs.
Well,
Because that's all I'm going to call him now.
did Mercy tell you all that Critias sent her a letter that he witnessed Genghis lose his fingers?
No.
No, I haven't even
no.
read that letter yet, to be totally honest. Today's been so busy. I apologize.
I want this in the last video. That's perfect. I got to know
Completely fair.
Should I read?
some of it.
You can read it.
Uh,
I thought it was funny. I
It's
could
gonna
also.
be huge.
It's not huge.
Well-
It was a short letter.
I want the good bits.
Picture this. A young, overly ambitious fellow, brimming with misplaced confidence, attempts to maneuver straight out of some reckless online video. Yes, you guessed it. He thought it was wise to try and jam a grenade into a werewolf's mouth. I saw this online, he exclaimed just before the beast nearly took off his entire arm. I must admit, it was both tragic and strangely entertaining.
You know,
I want to be very, very clear. He did not see it online.
Yeah, I doesn't know. But this changes everything. Critias is now my favorite of everyone. He's my favorite.
Oh, the
Just
letters
because of
from
that.
Critias are
This
so
really
good.
makes me question Mercy's taste in women. Or men, rather. No.
that too.
I don't know how big the explosion.
Dumb and pretty.
Chat
He's not
GPT
pretty.
has been a lovely stand-in for Critias's ramblings.
I don't know. What does Genghis look like?
He's a bald.
He's a
brute
bald
pretty.
punk.
Yeah.
I can pop
He's
it.
there.
So I will.
He's a butterface.
Maybe
Doesn't
No, he does. Look, just because he's
doesn't have
bald
to-
doesn't mean he's not pretty.
He's got a head tattoo.
He's got a nice looking mouth.
Oh.
That's a clothespin. He has a clothespin in his nose, Mercy. What are you thinking? What are you doing?
My sire has blue hair and thought it was funny to piss on the
Oh.
coterie. I mean, what do you mean?
It is brouhaha things. That's
As a note about your sire,
Oh no.
roll a d10.
Oh
You
no.
don't want a
Nice.
7 or above. Well, rather, he doesn't want a 7 or above.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
because he was an anarch fighting
He,
with the.
he survived the front lines the other night.
Oh, thank goodness. Actually, I
Given
couldn't
that
have
he's
rolled better
just
for
a
that
footnote.
purpose.
just a footnote.
Yeah, small little footnote. So,
Cool.
yeah,
So
thank you all for.
speaking of poor taste in men,
Oh yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, are we talking about your friend?
yes, I was going to tell Mizui that
Mhm.
Zach the boxer
Uh-huh.
lives on. I took the stalker flaw.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Look at that fist pump stop real quick.
Yeah. You introduced
so charming.
you introduced
Oh,
Eager to
no.
your stalker. Well, I will be fair. I told Mercy this morning. I said, "Hey, that Zach guy, he's mine now," and that was all I
Yeah,
said.
it's true.
Oh no.
But yes, I want to say a final thank you to you all for dealing with me. I hope the game is fun and interesting and you're
It's
having a
so
good time.
good.
Oh,
I can't wait to get into the final season, and I hope you're excited for it as well. I am looking forward to a break of running a game, as I always do in between these. Braggy, I hope that you had a good time playing Vampire for your first time, and I hope
Oh,
you know
it was beautiful.
it's always a little hard coming in kind of later to the game in a power scaling nightmare type game such as VTM, but I hope you had fun, and same Leon, I hope you also had a good time.
Amazing.
I
It
know
was a
you really
fantastic
wanted to
time.
eat Zana, and I'm sorry, but I was
I'm
always going to leave it up.
hungry.
I was always going to leave it up to the group.
Mm,
To be fair,
Character
do you want to
growth.
see how it would have played out? Because we could make the rolls.
the more I think about it, the more I think,
You'd have
yeah, I
died.
would've just lost.
You would have
Yeah.
died. Most likely,
We
she
can
would have
play it
taken
out.
you
We
over.
can play it out. That'd be fun. I want to see.
I would like
Wait,
to see the roll.
what does the dice say? Roll a new character.
That-
oh my.
Quite.
Oh
'Cause
no, that's worse. It's because Zana would be in.
That would be you.
It
You
would be in.
Oh, I'd have to play
Leon.
Zana as Leon.
Not necessarily, as in Leon is now in the prince's or Zana would be now in the prince's inner council after hearing all us talk shit on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have not been good.
She would
for
take over
anybody.
your soul and walk around in your body like she's you. It's
So-
terrifying.
I will let you know, because I made, when you gave me your backstory and all this and we're coming into the game, I had made Zana beforehand as what generation she would have been based on you and her clan, and built her how I would have built her. Her resolve and blood potency, her resolve is 4 and her blood potency is 4. So she would have been 8 dice against you.
Okay.
And then, if memory serves, you would roll. What did I? Because I think I sent it to you too.
So it would be 3 and yeah, it would be. I'd be rolling 6. That wouldn't be terrible.
Right.
I
I'd
could
still
even-
probably lose knowing my roll, but it wouldn't be terrible.
Oh no. So you wouldn't be making the same roll. You'd be making blood potency and your humanity, which would be -1.
Yeah, you would lose 1 to your humanity just for trying it.
1, 2.
for making the choice to devour a soul.
Oh, so in that case, I would be rolling 9.
You have
She's human as
humanity,
fuck, boy.
humanity of 8 as a Samishi?
Crazy, right?
Normal vampires start off at 7. I don't know about a Samishi being a.
Yeah, especially with you.
Especially with you, to be fair.
Working up
To be
with
fair,
Boggy.
as a person, my humanity's so.
We might have a
With
discussion.
what
I might give you some experience to lower that humanity to play with.
Fair enough.
Okay. But that,
How
if we
I
did it
originally
online,
was
though
going
I
to play her was
prefer to do
completely different than what happened.
in person.
Isn't that always the way?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, and since I have a fucking praise kink, the scene, like I loved it. I love doing that so much. Say nice things.
See, it's a good time. Well, I'm glad everyone had a good time. I loved running game for you guys. All of my screens are messed up, and
So that's
wait,
good to me. I'm short.
you're
There
good.
we go.
But thank you all again, and I look forward to playing with everybody in the next one, and then of course coming back here at some point.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Scarlett and I'll do the role play of
The
Also,
turn,
guys-
yes, because I like to read these. They keep me going at work.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down for more downtime stuff. But I want to
Absolutely.
run a petty tea party game. So if you're in, make sure you let me know because I want to. It'd just be like a one-shot petty tea party.
I don't know what a petty tea party.
I don't know.
So,
what that is.
okay,
Are we
no,
talking
okay,
about
so-
the vampires at a tea party because that's
Oh god,
fun.
that would be funny as hell. I was thinking it would be D&D structured, but you're right. We could just have vampires. But no, the idea being that the host is the BBEG and has invited everybody to a tea party where you're all supposed to have on your best formal manners, but like we all hate each other. And so the whole thing is like, if you piss off the host, you'll probably die, but you're at a table trying to have tea with a bunch of people you hate. And so it's like everybody sitting around going, oh yeah, this strawberry tea sure is delicious. Too bad you have orange. You know?
What you're telling me is it's just vampire.
Yeah. It is. It's basically just vampire.
We're
Yeah.
everybody's Annabelle.
Yeah. The
Oh my
stream is about to go out for a raid. Let's say bye. Bye, Twitch stream.
On that note, yes. Have a good
Holy-
evening, everybody, and we'll see
Bye.
you next time.
Bye, stream.